What's up, everybody? It's a Blue Drake, and today we're going to be taking another early tech preview build look at Ground Branch, a tactical first-person shooter being developed by Blackfoot Studios. Now, if you enjoy these updates and you want to read more about this game, make sure you click the link in the top left-hand corner of the video. That will take you to their official website where you can read all about the features and aspects of the game in detail. Also, if you enjoy these updates and you want to see more, either gameplay, updates, or otherwise, about tactical games such as Project Reality, Ground Branch, Squad, and more, please consider subscribing to this channel. In the meantime, let's get into the meat of what we're going to talk about today, which is the weapon platform simulation of Ground Branch, also the customizability, and probably take a look at some of the maps that have been delivered with the tech preview build. Today we have an AK-47, and we're out on the firing range where we can easily shoot up some targets with no issue. Now, in Ground Branch, the philosophy of Blackfoot Studios is that all weapons and all platforms should be available to you from the start. There are no paywalls, there are no unlocks, there is no XP. Everything is available to you as an operator who needs the tools that he needs to complete the mission at hand. You don't ask a plumber to come fix your sink and then only give him a hammer. He needs his entire toolbox. And it's the same philosophy with Blackfoot Studios. As you can see here, we have an AK-47, but we can choose any other loadout from light machine guns, marksmans, shotguns, and submachine guns. Now, since the game is still in an early state of development, we don't have any shotguns or light machine guns. Those things are still on the way. However, we can definitely take a look at the Marksman Rifle, the submachine gun MP5, and of course, the reliable M4. Now, the attachment system and customization system in this game is incredibly powerful. There's nothing saying, oh, you can only have one attachment, oh, you can only have one sight. You can have whatever you need to have to complete the mission. So, let's take a look here. I want a foregrip. I would like a laser. Actually, you know what? I think I want the laser on the other side. And how about a tac light? Excellent. I think I'm also going to go for a suppressor. Now, what type of ammo type should I have? Let's do HP, since I'm going to simulate going up against soft targets. I'm going to stick with a smaller magazine, and let's go with an ACOG 4x32. Actually, you know what? The ACOG has a basic backup sight, but I don't really want that backup sight. It's got a definitely decent scope, but I might be getting into some close quarters battles, so I think I need something a little bit more top of the shelf. Unfortunately, there's nowhere else to put this reflex sight. But there is. I'm going to put this ACOG 6x48, and as you can see, there's an actual rail on top of that ACOG. Yes, that means I can fit a reflex sight on top of my ACOG. This kind of customizability in Ground Branch is really game-changing. There is no preset sights, there are no preset anything. You can customize your weapon the way you need in order to complete the mission. So we're going to go ahead and accept this. Now, what's the other most important thing when it comes to a weapon platform? Not just the weapon itself, but also the ammunition. In Ground Branch, you can also edit your entire loadout. Now we have a small chest harness here, but we can do tactical vests and full-blown body armor. I think we're going to go light today. Go with the chest harness. Now I'm going to put some basic primary ammo there. Make sure those are filled with the Stanag 5.56, and maybe a couple test frag grenades. Excellent. Maybe for some extended protection, goggles, and an ops core helmet. But I really want that balaclava. Perfect. Now, let's take a look at the sights and also the way you handle your weapon in Ground Branch. Most of how you handle your weapon in Ground Branch is dealt with the scroll wheel. I have my right mouse button bound to putting it up in aiming mode or ready mode. In ready mode, I can scroll down in order to put it in low ready mode, or I can scroll up, put it in high ready mode. Additionally, when I am sighted in, I can scroll down to just aim down the weapon, but not aim down a sight, or I can scroll up to switch through all of the different sights that I have mounted to my weapon. This system is incredibly fluid, and it's also simple but powerful. This makes switching between different sights in CQB situations an ease. So for instance, if I come over here and there's a bad guy, I can easily switch to my backup sight, or I can just switch and aim down the sights if he's close enough to the point where I don't even need a sight to shoot at him. Now for this next quick demonstration, I'm going to take off the silencer. Now as a developer, or sorry, not as a developer, as someone who has access to a development build, I can do some things like just changing loadouts on the fly. So let's get rid of that suppressor. That's much better. I love the meatiness. Now, the weapons in this game are simulated very in-depth. So, right now I have a magazine loaded, and I have a round chambered. I'll load a full magazine, just to showcase that. Now, with this weapon, and having a round chambered, theoretically, if I had no magazine loaded, and a round still chambered, I could still fire off that one round. And that's exactly what we're going to do. I'm going to remove this magazine, and the round is still going to be chambered, and I'll be able to fire that one bullet. Now it's chambered again. That is the kind of depth you're going to see in this game. Everything is modeled very high fidelity, very, very painstakingly. And I think it's going to come together in a PvP scenario. When you start playing a multiplayer, all of this is going to really fit together in a realistic but balanced way, where you can have incredibly immersive CQB combat, but also not have to worry about ridiculous unlocks or other things that get in the way of the gameplay experience. Now, let's take a look at one of the other maps while we just keep going through all the different features that this game offers. Now here we're looking at one of the first adversarial modes. Now there's nobody to play with online right now, being that this is a developer build, or a tech preview build. However, we can still take a look at it, and you can get an idea of how things are going to work. Now, something I think is worth pointing out right now is that this game is completely based off of a true first-person system. Now, what is true first-person? True first-person means that your entire body, your entire character, is modeled just as he would be modeled from somebody else's perspective. Now, the best way to showcase this is, as you can see here, I am looking at my character, and I can see all the different aspects. However, when I uncage my camera, you can see, besides the fact that my head is now back on, it is the exact same. That is what true first person means. It is seen the exact same way from first person as it is from any other angle. So let's take a look at one of the depot storage areas here. And then we'll take more looks into how you have CQB combat and how to play the game. Now from this distance, I think a Marksman Rifle would be a little bit more effective. And since I have access to these developer tools, I can change my weapon on the fly. Again, make sure that you withhold judgment until the final game is released. You of course won't be able to do some of these things on the fly in-game when the game has been fully released. But for testing purposes, all of these things are available in the tech preview build. Now here is a Marksman Rifle in the game. And as you can see, the sight is still a fully three-dimensional sight, meaning you're not just looking down a tube, you're actually looking at a magnified scope rendered in-game. Another thing to notice is that all of the weapons, since they're using this true first-person system, have collision models with everything in the game. So if I'm sighted in and I move too close to this tree, my weapon will not be able to go through the tree. Get a better look at this. Little details like this, I really think, make this game stand out. Additionally, as you can see, this entire time, there is no HUD. There is absolutely no heads-up display in this game. Everything is true first person. It is as you would have experienced it in real life. If you want to see if you have magazines available, you'll have to be looking down at your chest. If you want to check how many magazines are on the ground, or you're dropping, or how many bullets are in the magazines, you'll have to actually look at the magazines themselves. If you want to see if you're hurt, you'll have to check your leg and see if it's bleeding. All of these little things really come together to make something special. Alright, since we're moving in here, let's take a look at the MP5. But I think I'm going to fire off a few shots just so I don't blue balls you. It is suppressed, so it's not incredibly hardcore right now. Now, when the game is finally released, there will actually be independent reload animations for every different type of gun. Not all of those have been included in the game yet, but you can see now you have basic reload animations that have different modes depending on if you have a round chambered or not. So for instance, let's go through this entire magazine. And you can see that since there's no round in the chamber, we actually charge the weapon. But if I only fire off a couple shots and then reload, no charge needed. Take a look at that MP5. Now, another thing, in Ground Branch, every bullet is simulated. And combined with a true first-person system, the fact that you don't just have a couple of disembodied arms in front of your camera, and since everybody's going to see you the same way as you see yourself, all of these different bullet simulations or whatever are going to hit you in the exact same way, which means we can have incredibly accurate wounding simulation. If you get shot in the leg, you'll have to limp. If you get shot in the arm, you may not be able to access your weapons or aim as easily, etc., etc. Now, just to show you that the bullets are actually simulated in a really cool way, I'm going to slow down time. Every bullet I fire, you can see for a split second the bullet itself that comes out of the barrel. Each bullet has its own physics and physical properties, and velocity. And when the final game is released, this will have a pretty big impact on gameplay, especially for snipers. Pretty cool stuff. Let's take a look at one of the other maps. Now, this is a basic training scenario for boarding an aircraft. We're going to go in there, shoot up the bad guys, and then I think for today, that's all we're going to be looking at. So again, if you enjoyed this, make sure you click on the link top left-hand corner to see more about this game and read more in detail. And if you want to be in touch with more updates on Ground Branch in the future, make sure you subscribe to this channel. Let's kill some bad guys. That guy is especially dead. Well, that's it for today, ladies and gentlemen. If you have any other questions, make sure you post them on the forums, or you can probably ask them down in the comments below, and either I or somebody who's more knowledgeable about the subject will do our best to answer them. In the meantime, I hope I see you in the next video, and I love you guys. Have a great day.